Here's how I was able to tell that my chickens have lice quickly before the infestation got too bad. So even though I have a lot of birds, I make sure I do regular check-ins on them, and I make sure that I'm looking at their feet to make sure they don't have bumble feet. I'm looking around their vent to make sure that they don't have any external parasites, and I'm checking their poop to make sure they don't have any internal parasites. Harold. And there's a couple key signs that I'm looking out for to see if they have mites or lice. So one telltale can be their tails. It can be a dirty butt. So this lady right here is the one that immediately made me think, okay, I need to check them over really well because I'm pretty sure that there's probably a parasite issue. Now, just because they do have a dirty butt does not mean it is from parasites. Sometimes it can be bleat, sometimes it can be just a dirty butt just from the poop. It doesn't always mean lice or mites, but especially when paired with some other things I saw in my flock, I figured it probably was. So here's how I check. I like to look in between their shoulder blades, if you will, and I spread really well, and I can see little bugs crawling on their skin. I also look underneath their wings sometimes, and then I also look underneath their vent. It has it the worst out of anybody, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you, and no, this is not lice that is going to be transferable to humans.
So I can't find any obvious on her right now. Like I said, it's not a bad infestation. I'm gonna grab another one.
Sometimes when it's bad enough, you can see clumps of the nits of the eggs on their feathers. So there was another one crawling on the feathers right there. Those little yellow bugs, those are lice, not mites. Mites generally are a little bit more red and they are a different shape. Another symptom to look out for is pale combs and wattles. Now during summer that can happen just from them being really dehydrated and hot. It doesn't always mean parasites, but a lot of the times it does. Another really obvious sign that I was starting to see is it looks like they're molting. You can see some feather loss here and a little bit of feather loss on her chest. She's not looking her normal full self, and that is because the lice can cause them to have some feather damage. Also can be from molting, so keep that in mind. Lack of eggs and then them being really lethargic can also be a sign that they have lice or mites and that they have a parasite issue. So look for dirty butts, decreased egg production, pale combs and wattles, and it looking like they're molting. Sometimes they don't show any of those symptoms at all and they can still have lice or mites. My treatment that I ordered just came in. I use Elector PSP personally. It's a one-time treatment. So we're gonna go ahead and do all of the ladies and the gentlemen tomorrow and get them treated. That is how I look out for lice and mites. It's really important to regularly check your chickens because you can catch these kinds of things before they get serious. If they have a really bad infestation, it's harder to treat. It can make your chicken anemic and it can actually lead to death if your chicken gets anemic and sick enough from those lice or mites.